in somewhere. We're good. Hello and good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're tuning in around the world, and welcome back to the Musa Cricket Stadium here in Pearland, Houston, Texas. We've got match 18 of season 2 of the American Premier League, and up this morning, the defending champions, the Premium Windies, are taking on the Premium Canadians. Well, it's a glorious day, and it's going to be a glorious day for cricket this afternoon. We'll have more action as the Indians, top of the table team, take on the Premium Americans. What a view that is, and what a view that is if you're a fan of the Premium Indians. They sit pretty at the top, just ahead of that Premium Windies. Well, we saw them launching the ball to all parts yesterday. What a day they had out in the middle. It's been a struggle for the Aussies. They're right down rock bottom. But the Indians are in action this afternoon, this morning. It is all about the Premium Windies and the Premium Canadians. Well, welcome to America. An exciting day of cricket ahead, and let's find out the news from the toss with Roshni.
Good morning, everyone, from the Musa Stadium. It's the Premium Windies taking on the Premium Canadians. Next to me, I have the captain of the Premium Canadian side, Abdullah Ghazi, as well as the captain of the Premium Windies side, Kirk Thompson, and of course, our match referee, Danny Khan. Who's got the coin?
Heads.
Heads is the call.
And head is the winner.
Heads is the winner. Kirk, you guys have won the toss. What have you chosen to do and why?
We're going to have a ball first. We're going to look to see if we can get them on as cheap as possible and get our net run rate up to hopefully top the table and go into the semi-finals on a high.
Absolutely. And so far, you know, the bowling you guys have had have been your strong suit.
It definitely has been a strong suit. A few changes for the day though, but let's see how it goes. Still have a pretty good side.
All the best.
Thank you.
Abdullah, what would you have done if you had won the toss?
I mean, the same thing. Bowling first is because the wicket is, we don't know how it reacts, because I think it will be the track will be a little bit low down, I think, because the last wicket we had yesterday, it was better. But hopefully, we were waiting for the best, I think. But let's see. We have no choice to bet on.
Absolutely. First game for you guys, you know, what are your thoughts? I mean, it's been a while since you guys have got a chance, you know, play out here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's the first game. We were waiting to play at least game, but unfortunately we didn't play. So hopefully today is the best day to play.
All the best.
Thank you so much.
The news from the middle is the Premium Windies have won the toss and they've elected to bowl.
Well, thank you, Roshni. The umpires are heading out to the middle in glorious sunshine this morning. Little nippy out there, but perfect conditions overhead for a bit of cricket. The Windies just having that discussion there. Well, you'd be thinking very much, let's do the same as yesterday, lads, because they were absolutely dominant, rocketing up the table into second, the defending champions. Well, we're seeing Canadians in action for the first time in this tournament. Two teams in red. Well, one, yes, they've got 3 points, having not yet had to take the field. And today they'll be looking to bag some more. Get off to a good start with the bat in hand. The Windies, they got off to an absolute flyer yesterday, much thanks to the bat of Aaron Johnson. But this is how that premium Canadian side lines up. Obviously, we can't talk about any changes because we've not seen them in action yet. But a few names to keep your eye on there. And can we bring out some heroes from this Canadian side in their first outing this tournament? Well, lots of changes in the Windies team, but that man, Aaron Johnson, he's still in there. Him and Kevin Stout at the top yesterday were swinging to all parts. Sean Finley also, he was on fire earlier in the tournament. Well, they are missing one of their star players today with the ball, Hayden Walsh. Player of the match yesterday, but that's the way cricket happens sometimes. Not in action today, but they've won the toss and elected to have a bowl. I'm happy to say Jay is back alongside me this morning. Good morning, Jay. Enjoying the sunshine during this crimbo-limbo weird state of affairs between Christmas and New Year.
Hey, good morning, Georgie. Great to be here. Canadians, the first game they'll be playing. They already have 3 points, 4 games they were supposed to play. And finally, we'll get to see them in action. Windies, on the other hand, sit comfortably right now, but as you said, a couple of their star players who've done well in this tournament not playing. So both these sides, they'll need some younger guys to step up. They'll need some more of the emerging, newer players to step up here and really do well if they're to get a couple of points in today's game.
Well, absolutely glorious day for cricket, as we said. Umpire Brian out there, thumbs up, ready to kick off the day. And what will today bring? That's the question. Well, it's going to bring some mighty fine sunglasses. Flighted full toss, and we're up and running. And that's going to go for 4. Well, what a way to start for the Canadians.
You know, that is just amazing timing there right off the bat. I didn't think that was going to the boundary. I thought it may be a single at best. But that was absolutely amazing there from Ritwik Behra. A youngster here. And he's actually represented the US in a couple of games internationally.
Well, a chance to show off his stuff in his home country here. And not a bad way to open up his account and that of the Canadians in the tournament.
Yeah, just 21 years of age, the youngster.
That's a much better delivery.
Interesting to see Kirk Thompson here, the captain with the ball in hand. Brought himself on for the first time in the death overs in yesterday's encounter. Today, though, with no Raj Nandan in the side for the Windies. He's opening the bowling here, taking that role, and that's an excellent delivery once again. Coming back in, just beating the bat of Behra.
I like to see he started with a slip as well, gone attacking from the beginning. He was expensive at times yesterday, but did manage to make the breakthrough. And after that first loose delivery, he's right on the money. Well, different for the Windies today. They obviously batted first yesterday and put that 172 on the board. And the premium packs, aside from Ryan Scott at the beginning, playing a little cameo, having a bit of a hit. Aside from that, they never really looked like they were in with a chance of chasing, did they?
Yeah, Windies, quite the win. Oh, and this one's lofted over the offside. Won't reach the boundary though, so we were talking about that slow, sluggish outfield for the past couple of days. And I think it's on show here once again.
Yeah. 2 to finish the first over, so 6 coming off the first. You can see he's trying to play with a bit of intent. You wouldn't be too unhappy with 6 to kick things off. And look at that for a view. Glorious here in Houston, Texas. Yes, a little bit nippy, but once you get moving and you're in the sunshine, it's like the height of summer in England.
There at Canadian side, Ritvik Behra, Gautam Gajala opening the batting. A lot of talented players in that side. You can see Abdullah Ghazi, the captain, Balpreet Singh there, Rafi Hashrami, a prolific run scorer. He's gotten a lot of wickets, an excellent all-rounder in the nation's capital, the DMV area, the DC area. So quite the talent we'll have on show today from this Canadian side.
Well, this will be the first time Sao Gantham has faced up today. All 6 deliveries faced by Ritwik Behra in the first over. And Mario Lebon been handed the ball, so going pace from one end, spin from the other. And that pace has beaten everyone and gone for 5 wides.
Yeah, not a good start there for the bowler. Mario Loban sprays this one down the leg side. And some free runs there for the Canadians first up. Now this is a reduced over game. 18 overs aside, 5 over power play.
Shorter ball, given the treatment, and slow out there still, so the fielder will cut it off, and they're going to do well to come back for 2. Yeah, you can say 18 overs aside. Bit of dew around this morning, so just delaying things slightly. Luckily the sun is out and it's sorted that out. We have got play. So 3 bowlers can bowl 4 each, and it's 3 each for the others. 5 over power play, and drinks to be taken after 9 overs, should it not be a wicket lost in the over before. And that's much better from Lebon. Difficult this for the Canadians. They're only just coming into this. 3 points on the board without having to lift a finger, but this is the Windies side who absolutely dominated yesterday. Yes, a few player changes today, but a team full with confidence, absolutely brimming with confidence. And the Canadians, there's that shorter ball again down the leg side. Might have just clipped something on the way through. And the Canadians have got to come out firing from the off. Think about that net run rate. Not had the chance to really have a go at that because they haven't been out there. Whereas the Windies yesterday showed what firepower they had with the bat in hand.
Yeah, and I think this really will be quite an entertaining encounter because, as you said, the Windies, while some of their big players aren't in the 11 today, they are high on confidence, and I'll come back to that after this ball, which just beats Gautam Gajala. But high on confidence, the Windies, but the Canadians, there's a lot of younger players in the side. There's a lot of local talent in the side who's really eager to prove themselves. They really do want to win. There's that energy, that eagerness, which we've seen with a lot of these players in the tournaments that they've played that are now in this Canadian side.
That's a lovely delivery. Bit of a mixed bag this over from Lebon. He's very front on in his action. And it's just come back in on Gautam Gajala.
Gajala there, donning the older pads.
Yeah, good finish to the over. So in the end, thanks to those 5 wide, 7 coming from it. So at the end of 2 in this shortened 18 over a side game, the Premium Canadians are up and running there, 13 without loss. Well, we've seen a real mixed bag when it comes to setting totals, and obviously this 18 overs, difficult to sort of gauge where they want to be, but these Canadians would have been watching yesterday and seen that the Windies can easily get themselves up to 170, so they'll be looking at that sort of 130 mark if they can, but it all depends on the setting a foundation for these two and what they can do with this Windies bowling. A very different bowling attack to what we've seen so far in the tournament. Again, a flighted full toss to start the over, this time not given the boundary treatment, and picks out the fielder out at cover. Again, full toss. Well, that is given the treatment. Flighted, full toss. Have some of that. Eat that for breakfast.
Yeah, an excellent shot there by Behra. Didn't quite get it on the previous delivery, but he'll pick up that boundary this time around. And Hrithwik Behra, we've seen over the years with him now, he's someone who, opening the batting, he likes to be destructive in the power play. He likes to get off to quick starts here. So if the ball is there to hit, he will be one to definitely go after it. Jonathan Fu there, you can see behind the stumps. A slip in place as well here for Kirk Thompson.
Much tighter. Well, the first time we've seen Jonathan Fu behind the sticks in this tournament.
Yeah, no more Jamar Hamilton in the 11 today.
Well, he moved very early, gave himself room, and he sort of saw him coming. Kirk Thompson, and not really able to give himself room, Gautam Gajala. Again, full toss. And again, hit through that cover region. It's going to slow down enough. There is a fielder in pursuit.
Yeah, just sticking to a couple of runs there on that delivery. 7 runs from this over with a ball to go. Not a bad over there. Windies would think in the power play. That one's just going to be it into the offside once again to covers as Gajala retains strike with a single. 8 runs coming from that over, and after 3, 21 for no loss are the Canadians.
Yeah, favouring that cover region, making the fielder do a lot of work. Keeping them warm. A few cold looking players out there, the Windies maybe not quite used to this temperature. But the music's blaring, there's sunshine out and we have cricket. And what else would you want to do between Christmas and New Year? Watch some cricket, play some cricket, and enjoy the wonderful game. Here from Pearland, Houston, Texas, Season 2, the American Premier League, and Mario Lebon is going to bowl his second. That's a really good line. Oh, well, that's beautiful. Stand and deliver, and you copy and paste that shot and play it at my wedding.
Yeah, Gajala there, a few iffy shots he had, wasn't looking too settled, but that was quite a classy shot from him through the offside and picking up his first boundary of the day. racing away through that slow outfield.
Good recovery again from Le Bon. But Windies winning the toss and choosing to have a bowl. And at the moment, the Canadians seem somewhat on top. They're finding the boundaries. Not really looked in any trouble at any point here. And these bowlers need to start threatening the stumps. Well, these two could really accelerate through the gears up the top. And he's just sent back by Gajala.
Bit of a misfield there by the bowler. Just ricocheting off of him, but no damage done. A slower start here for the Canadians. Would have liked to get a few more here in the power play. That one very close there. A bit of a bottom edge, almost back onto the stumps.
Well, we saw yesterday some crazy footwork out in the middle. Who was it? Was it Jamal Hamilton?
It was Gurjanath Singh.
Gurjanath Singh, wasn't it? He hit it up in the air, turned around and managed to boot it so it wouldn't land on his stump. Such quick work, quick thinking and real game awareness.
I think he got out the next ball though, so.
Banged in, given the treatment, up high, long 6.
Yeah, Gajala getting a good piece of that one. And we're going to see the first maximum of today's game. Was turning out to be a pretty good over from Luan till then. Had gone for just the 4, a maximum to finish it off. So a 10-run over. There, that short ball, and just helping it on its way there is Gautam Gajala. So 4 overs done, 31 for no loss now are the Canadians.
Well, just one more over of power play in this shortened 18 over a side game. So 31 on the board after being put into bat, the Canadians. And they would have perhaps been hoping for something a little more, but that injection at the end there, the first 6 of the match, just giving them a little bit of a momentum boost. And we're going to have a change in bowler. So Kirk Thompson to come on from the Pearland end. Ignore me. Kirk Thompson to take his 3rd.
So Thompson here bowling a 3rd in the power play. Bowled at the death yesterday. Got a couple of wickets towards the back end of that innings. The captain here of the Windies. Spera just nudges that one out towards mid-wicket. He'd be wanting to find the boundary a couple of times here in this over now. The last one of the power play, Behra.
Quicker delivery up over cover. And again, that outfield is slow, so it's going to be slowed down and cut off by the fielder. And they come back for another. Well, 33 on the board. Still 3 balls in this power play to come. And uses the feet. Played nicely into the gap. Man's out on the rope out there. And still just be 1. This is proving to be a good over for Kirk Thompson, his third. Gone for just 3 so far. This is the final over of this 5 overs of power play. Well, that's a lovely shot through the gap. Really placed it nicely, and the fielder could just watch it go past him, and that just puts a blemish on a tidy over.
Bit of commentator's curse there as well.
No such thing, or I'd be predicting the lottery numbers. Well, end of 5 overs, power play over. The Premium Canadians, 38 without loss. Well, I don't know. I think I'd maybe call it 50-50 really, that power play. Not really in anyone's favour, particularly the Windies might have liked to pick up a wicket, but just 38 on the board. They're going up 7.5, so Canadians won't be too unhappy with it, and the Windies won't be too unhappy. But they will want to try and get this partnership broken soon. And there is that signal, end of the power play.
Reduced over game this, 18 overs aside, so that power play is well cut down from 6 to just 5 overs. And it appears we're going to have a new bowler as well. Sonny Elias brought into the attack now. So another spinner comes on. And he'll be bowling into Ritvik Behra.
Batsman bowler coming left and round.
Now Ritvik's natural game is really to attack the bowlers. And now with the power play done, it'll be interesting to see if he continues with that strategy. Especially knowing that the scoring rate is a bit low there for the Canadians. They haven't lost a wicket. So does Behra look to take on the spinner here? Just looking to guide that away. A bit of a misfield there at backward point. And comfortably coming across for that single. Gets Gautam Gujala back on strike. He's faced 16 deliveries for his 19. Hit a maximum in the last over.
Well, going back into that one again. Well, he picked up just the 1 wicket yesterday, Sonny Elias. In his 3 overs, went for 26 from 3 overs. He started off expensively and dragged it back after that, and that's a full flighted delivery, just worked up to long on, and it will just be the 1. Again, full, same result, same fielder, and just the 1 again.
So from here, 41 for no loss, midway through the 6th here. How would you look to approach this from a Canadian side? Do you look to attack right now? Do you look to take the spinners on?
I think they're going to have to, because yes, they've got off to a pretty decent start, but they want to start finding the boundary more, these two. I'd like to see them play aggressively. They're both set now. Take on the spin. Yes, Sonny's finding a good length, but just cut that off, shuffle down and take it on. The fielders, the restrictions have been lifted. Yes, that's good running. That's what you want. Aggressive play, and that constitutes aggressive running as well. So they've got to try and accelerate a little here. They're going at just under 7.5, which, when we saw the power of the West Indies batting yesterday, is not going to get them to enough. They can't afford to just sit back and play for singles. Yeah, like that. Used to the feet. Not quite paid off, but showing that he's trying to give it that bit of intent.
And there you can see that intent as he just shadows the shot he wants to play. Saw Gajanan Singh do that quite a bit yesterday. Final ball of the sixth now. Down the leg side, it's hit the stumps, but I think that's come off the keeper and signaled a wide by the umpire as well. And he's got him this time there, so Gautam Gajala will have to walk back. That extra delivery as a result of the wide, and it's resulted in the first wicket falling now for the Canadians. Sonny Elias strikes, and Gajala, a well-made 20 for him, but he goes.
Well, that's just the breakthrough they would have wanted. Fairly expensive over, 7 coming off it already, including those buys. And closing it out with that wicket. He goes for a well-made 20 from 19, striking at just over 100. But that's the first Canadian to head back to the hutch. And that brings Noshawan Khan out to the middle. Well, a former international squash player, Noshawan Khan. Only started playing cricket last year, and it was just because a friend of his said, "Do you fancy coming down and having a net?" And he was like, I don't know about that. And then he was convinced by the fact that he might get his heart rate up, get some fitness done. So went and had a net and was hooked from day one, and now finds himself playing cricket around the world.
Squash and cricket, two quite different sports. I guess you've got the hand-eye coordination.
It's a rogue one, isn't it? It's not like you've gone from squash to tennis or baseball to cricket. Well, that was a gimme outside the off stump. Their fielder is out there and will come back. And it's good running to get back for 2. Well, that squash fitness coming in handy. Full toss just worked away by Ritwik Behra, and Noshawan Khan will face his first delivery.
Yeah, Aaron Johnson, the new bowler, so a bowling change at both ends there. I don't think Johnson bowled yesterday. But with the number of bowlers that the Windies have lost going into today's game, Johnson here brought on.
Full toss. Yeah, didn't get a chance with the ball yesterday, Aaron Johnson, but came out flying with the bat, 52 from just 36. So he did his part yesterday.
Nobody keep him for spin. You're tricking me. Yeah.
And it's This is good from him, actually. He's just got Noshawan Khan feeling outside that off stump. He's just trying to nurdle it away, but he's also aware that that slip is in play and could very easily find the edge. And then the straighter one.
You see it? Oh, it's too quick for the straight.
Yeah, a few dots to finish that over off there. Just 3 it goes for. Excellent stuff from Johnson first up. And after 7, the Canadians 49 for 1 here.
Yeah, the Windies actually won't be feeling too bad about this. They picked up that wicket and they have slowed that run rate down. We're going at just 7.
So 11 overs remaining here. Windies ideally they'd want to restrict the Canadians to somewhere around maybe 120, 130-ish. Still have 9 wickets in hand though, the Canadians.
That's the new bowler coming right him round.
Nicely played off the back foot. Good length to start the over. Well, hoisted back over his head, and that 6 is taken out a coffee cup. Sorry, fourth umpire, you're going to have to get caffeine again later. And that's been dispatched.
And there's the power Ritwik Behra on show. We were talking about it earlier, he's got the big hits. And there's one of them stepping down the track right back over the bowler's head. Oh, and that splashed the coffee there. Went all over. Some good target practice there for Behra. Exactly at the cup. Steps down once again. He goes big once again. Behra. And he's got it much longer this time as well. Back-to-back maximums here for Ritwik Behra. And he isn't waiting around anymore.
Well, that was right in his hitting arc. Full toss. There to be hit. Great use of the feet. Quick hands through. And absolutely launched it. Well, this is the acceleration they needed. They're back up over 8 runs and over. And already the 12 off this and 3 deliveries still to come.
Now just checking the ball, making sure it's okay. After Behra just ripped it apart there, those last 2 deliveries.
Along the ground this time. Fielder out there. He'll cut it off. So it'll just be 1. And that brings Noshawan Khan back on strike, yet to get off the mark. 4 deliveries he's faced.
Shade little in. One leg.
Well, I'm just wondering what kind of innovation you can bring from squash. I guess you can be a very wristy player. Very wristy game, squash. Going round the wicket to Khan, who just picks out the fielder at cover. Still to get off the mark, 5 faced. Wristy game, so perhaps that's something that will come into his batting and into his cricket. And obviously that fitness level is extreme as a squash player. Well, the 2 big 6s coming from the over, but in the end recovered nicely here, Fazal Zaza. And the end of 8 overs, Premium Canadians 62 for 1. Looks like a game that's going to keep swinging back and forth between momentum. There's never really someone getting on top at the moment, is there?
And really, with cricket, all it takes is just 1 over, as we saw this one. A couple of maximums there, 13 run over. Momentum now with the Canadians, they're looking good. But a couple of quiet overs here, as we've seen the Windies sneak in on so many occasions. Not only today, but throughout the tournament. And all of a sudden they'd be back on top. Wickets as well, looking to slow that scoring rate down. And this one would certainly be big. Ritwik Behra, 33 off 23. As we see Johnson continuing his first over, none for 3.
Well, he goes big again, and the fielder watches it sail over his head and clatter into the railings by those blustering flags. That's another 6 off the bat of Ritwik Behra, and he is seeing it like a beach ball.
Yeah, I think there's been some communication errors here, because Ritwik Behra is the only man right now who knows that there's a 6-hitting competition going on, because each one of his 6s just keeps getting longer. The third one he's hit now. Oh, that's very wristy, and that is a fine shot. Won't reach the boundary. An excellent running to get back for a couple of runs.
Yeah, he's having a day, isn't he? He's got his protein in at breakfast and using all his muscle. He's into the 40s now. And again, wristily played back up to the bowler.
And this is smart batting from Behra. He knows he has the runs from this over. Hit a maximum off the first delivery, so now just looking to knock the ball around, get singles and 2s.
Well, that will bring Noshawan Khan back on strike. 2 very different innings at the moment. Noshawan Khan failed to get off strike just yet. He's fails to get off the mark yet. Faced 6 deliveries. Well, he's just watching the batting masterclass from the other end. And just been tucked up by Aaron Johnson. Well, he's joined the party. He's gone aerial. And he was just watching 6s from the other end and now decided, I want to have a go too. And that's how to open your account.
So maximum to start the over off, a maximum to finish off. These last 2 overs before the drinks break have swung the pendulum back the Canadians' way. As he goes down on one knee, down the ground, no chance for any fielders there. And another big over coming to that end. So halfway through now, this first innings, 9 overs done, 77 for 1. The Canadians are looking pretty good.
Well, a well-deserved drinks break, and we'll be back with you in just a moment.
with that dance, man.
Well, welcome back to sunny Moosa Stadium here in Pearland in Texas. 9 overs down, the Canadians put into bat 77 for 1, just to have that acceleration now with the two batters out in the middle, both finding their feet and finding the boundary. Well, Ritwik Berra, 42 off just 27. Noshwan Khan, who struggled to get off the mark and then just closed out the previous over with a 6. And that's one way to get off the mark. And it will be Sonny Elias to continue. He's the only one to pick up a wicket so far this morning.
Yeah, and with 28 from those last 2 overs, Windies here need to slow things down. A wicket would be perfect to do that. And we've seen so many times after a drinks break, that break in concentration for batsmen might just provide that. And this is a man they'd love to get. 42 off 27, Ritwik Berra. What an innings he's been playing today.
Well, he's going to have to be quick and get back Noshwan Khan, who's determined for that run. He wants to go again. Almost the chance of overthrows, but Ritwik Berra not interested. Uses his feet and gets to the pitch of the ball. And again, Noshwan Khan trying to scamper through for that one. Chance for stumping, miss stumping. It clubs the keeper, Jonathan Fu, on the pads in the end.
Yeah, and a huge miss that would have been Ritwik Berra, who's looking so good. Now just has a chat with his partner. A couple of miscommunications between the two. But there, yeah, just not collecting it cleanly.
Yeah, well out of his crease. And then also when he got his bat in, it bounced anyway, so it was still in the air. Gives himself room and tries to play that off the back foot and mistimes it. Well, this is just the over the Windies needed. Perhaps not. And that'll be 1 bounce for.
I think maybe you should reconsider that lottery you were talking about earlier. With that boundary there off the sweep from Berra. Saw that gap there. No one out in the deep. No one inside the ring either in that region. And with that, moving on to 46.
I'll shout you a coffee if I win.
Appreciate it.
That's all right. I'm just so generous.
I think
Right.
the 4th umpire also needs a coffee there.
Oh, the 4th umpire does need a coffee. Probably needs a new cup, actually. Has anyone checked on the table? So 1 to come. And he looks to sweep and they scamper through for the 1. There is a misfill, but it will still just be 1. Well, 5 in the end coming off that over. 10 gone, 82 for 1. Blue skies, nothing but blue skies. Well, just the 1 wicket to fall. Sonny Elias picking up that one out of the opener. But the one that they really want is the man currently out in the middle, Ritwik Berra, seeing the ball really nicely into the 40s. And at the end, Noshwan Khan struggling a little bit at the moment, but has shown that he's got that power to find the boundary on the full.
once I was playing a game where there was two fields right next to each other. Ritvik Behra, he was on the field right next to us. We were playing a game on the adjacent field, and every couple of minutes there was a ball which would just fly over and land onto our field. And after that, we were looking at the scorecard after our game, after their game, and it turns out Behra went out there, hit a double century, absolutely obliterated the other side.
Not a bad day out for him. You sort of find yourself then, you're wary of almost two balls coming at you. You've got the one that's being bowled at you, and then you're aware that another could come at any point from the side. It's like playing cricket with two cricket balls. Well, we're going back to pace here. 10 overs down, so another 8 to come. Mario Lebon is going to bowl his third. 17 coming off his 2 so far. And Ritvik Behra has got his eyes on a half century. He's 47 from 33. And he's just swinging at one outside the off stump.
Yeah, moved back there, exposing his stumps and just not quite able to get to it.
We've seen him do that a number of times. He steps back and gives himself room.
Mario Loan, his first 2 overs, a tad bit expensive there, going for 17.
Short and hit away through mid-wicket, and they're going to come back for 2. Not quite timed, but that pushes him on to 49. You see, he rehearses that shot there, knows he didn't quite get a hold of it.
Yeah, coming a bit off the bottom part of the bat.
Well, that'll be his 50. Ritvik Behra, what an innings he's played already today. Gets applause from a standing Canadian dugout. I think there's just going to be a check on the boundary.
Yeah, umpire Brian Kane there, just sending it upstairs. But nevertheless, a fantastic innings this from Ritvik Behra. He's come out opening the batting, and from the start looked really good there, finding the boundary. We have a look at this though. Tried to just stop it with his foot there, that fielder out in the deep.
I know that back when I was playing, if I'd done that, tried to stop it with my foot and it had gone to the boundary, I would be running laps later on.
I think this angle should tell us here. Just try stopping it with his foot, goes behind the heel. And it seems that that may just have touched the cushion. That's exactly what the umpire signaled. So a boundary indeed for Ritvik Behra to get to his half century. And perhaps some laps for the fielders. We can only wait and watch for that.
I'll be signalled wide. Trying to get him fishing outside the off stump. Slightly slower delivery. But he is more than privy to that and just lets it go past, and that's another to the total. 89 for 1 inside 11. Well, fuller delivery, not timed, and they'll pick up 1.
So that gets Nosherwan Khan back on strike. He's just hit 1 run scoring shot, which was a maximum down the ground. And steps down the track, looking to swing at it. But once again, just not quite getting the connection today here is Khan.
Shorter ball, he looks to just try and feed it down to third man. But end of 11, Premium Canadians 90 for 1. 2 batters are playing a very contrasting game at the moment. Nosherwan Khan just not seeing it at the moment. We've seen him hit that 1 big 6, but that's the only way he's managed to find any runs so far. However, at the other end, Ridwick Bearer is having a good day out.
Bearer will come back onto strike now with the change of the overs, and Sunny Alas rather 1 for 10 in his first 2 overs. Really been the pick of the bowlers today, the only one who's gotten a wicket. And here's one he'd love. Oh, and that's gone through the fielder, racing away towards the boundary. Won't quite get there though. We talk about that slow outfield, and they've gotten back for 2. They won a 30 of the 2 batsmen, and they get it in the end as well. That is really well run.
Yeah, Kevin Stout out there had a lot of ground to make up, but that is the longest part of the boundary. Longest part of the ground, so managed to get there. It was slowed down in that outfield where we saw that dew this morning. And good running in the end.
That's it!
Well, he's been struggling, but he's only dealing in 6s. That's the only way he's picking up runs at the moment, Nosherwan Khan. And he won't mind that at all. He moves on to 12 from 11 with just 2 scoring strikes.
Yeah, Khan, he won't mind that, but I think the 4th umpire might just, because that went quite near him and his coffee. But I think we could just see it in the frame there.
That's nicely played. Quick hands. And they're going to do well to scamper back for the second, take on the arm. Overthrows perhaps. They're both well beyond the stumps, and it's really good running. So that's another 3. They're putting that pressure on these fielders, forcing the error. We saw some really quite abysmal fielding from some of the premium packs yesterday, and it seems to have been contagious because the Windies, they were so good in the field in that game yesterday. And that brings up the 100, that 3. Inside 12 overs.
Yeah.
Not timed, and be just the 1 to the total. Well, already 13 off this over. Sonny Alas, he'd been the pick of the bowlers so far, but this is just frustrating over for him. Can't quite find his line and length, and these two batters looking to take him on. And that was slightly quicker. He'd beaten Noshawan Khan before he was through his shot. Well, an expensive over, 14 coming from it. So 12 overs down. The premium Canadians are racing along. Just the 1 wicket down, find themselves 104 for 1. So 6 overs still to come. 2 set batters out in the middle. And the Windies have got some thinking to do, who they're going to give the ball to try and make this breakthrough. We haven't yet seen Kevin Stout today. So you wonder when he might be given the chance. Well, it's difficult reading. 13 off Fazal Zaza's 1 over. Just Sonny Alas to pick up the wicket.
Take it there. Take it for there. Yeah, well, let the man go around and let this man go cold. I'll let this save it. 1, 2, 3, 4.
You see Jonathan Fu is just directing traffic here. His fielders have only just cottoned on to what he's trying to tell them.
Yeah.
So the man out on the boundary is just being sent round, and then you've got a sort of deep square. A deep mid-wicket. Man out up at sort of wide long on, wide long off. Cover, point and third. And he's bowled him. Well, that is just the breakthrough they needed. Gajnan Singh, he's handed the ball, and with his first delivery, he gets rid of Noshawan Khan. He goes for 16 from 15, a very chalk and cheese kind of innings. Struggled to get off the mark, found those 2 big sixes, and just as he was looking to try and launch it back again over his head, he's bowled, he sees the back of his off stump, and he frustrated there as he walks off. And Rafi Hashmi comes to replace him.
And Noshawan Khan there, 16 off 15, a strange innings that is, having hit 2 massive sixes, but not too many runs as far as running between the wickets goes. But with that, the second wicket now down for the Canadians. Rafi Hashmi, a very talented all-rounder here, joining Ritwik Behra out in the middle.
Well, you'd think at this point the plan would be get Ritwik Behra on strike as much as possible. Just play that anchor role alongside and let him free up his arms, take on the bowling and find those boundaries, because he is seeing it so well today.
Yeah, and it takes any new batsman a few deliveries there just to get set. So I think Rafi Hashmi, until he gets set, they're just looking to rotate strike, take those singles, and as you said, give Behra as much strike as possible. Hashmi himself, a very good batsman though, a couple of years back, or last year I think actually it was, in the Washington Cricket League, the biggest cricket league there in the DC metro area. He was the leading run scorer. That one very wide there. Just plays it with one hand to get off the mark with a single. Getting Behra back on strike here.
Yep, they won't mind that. He's off the mark. And the big man, the big hitting man is on strike. 58 from 39. Top score of the tournament so far was the unbeaten 77 from Erasmus for the Premium Americans just a couple of days ago. And that could well be within touching distance for Berra.
This time goes aerial, but there is a man out there long off. So just keeping it to the single there, gets Ruffy back on strike, does Berra. Gajanan Singh, a pretty good over this has turned out to be. He's picked up a wicket, just conceded a couple of runs. As he just knocks that one out towards covers. And this time going down the leg side, just flicks it away. Some good running there as they scamper across for a single. And Ritwik now, one more ball remaining in this over. As Gajanan comes in, and he looks to take him on. That's gone up in the air, man out in the deep, and he puts it down. Should have been taken. That the big wicket of Ritwik Berra. And it seems that's the captain, Kirk Thompson, who spilled that one at the deep mid-wicket boundary. Oh, that could be quite devastating there for the Windies. It could be quite costly for them. Saw it a bit short on the back foot. Didn't judge it right. Thompson came up a few steps off the boundary, but it landed just in front of him, not quite getting himself in the right position as he shells that one. So with that, it's also the end of 13 overs, 108 for 2 here. 5 overs remaining. And now it seems Kevin Stout is being brought into the attack. And George, you were just talking about this in the last over, how we haven't seen Kevin Stout. Well, I think we've finally got him in action now.
Yeah, we've seen him out in the field a little. Well, picking up those wickets now is what these Windies needed to do to try and slow this down. We saw the main man, Ritwik Berra, go, and I think it was his destruction that looked like it was pushing the Canadians up to out of reach here, but they've slowed it down nicely, the Windies. And Kevin Stout, he has been expensive at times. Well, Berra goes leg side.
You're not able to get it quite past that 30-yard circle there. But you can see Berra's intent. He wants to attack now. He's been doing that the entire innings. But now the last 5 overs, they've still got 8 wickets in hand here, the Canadians. They'd want to ideally try and get to that 150, 160 mark on the cards. And I think it really just depends how long Berra's out there. If Berra can stay here for a few more overs, then 160 is definitely on here for the Canadians. For now though, Rafi Hashimi, the man on strike. And Stout just not getting his line quite right to him.
Well, Ritwik Berra, he's got that high score of the tournament in his sights. He's just 16 off what Erasmus managed the other day. And that again will be wide. Well, that brings Berra back onto strike, which is just what the Canadians would want. Kevin Stout struggling slightly with his line.
Yeah, Berra, how good has he been today? 61 from 42. Nearly 150 strike rate, that.
Walks down the pitch at Stout and picks up another boundary.
The first boundary of this over, which is turning out to now be an expensive one. Just 3 balls in, already seen 8 runs. And Berra continuing his attack. On the pads, that as he stepped down, and no one out there in the deep. Seems like it's Berra himself who's gone out to square leg to fetch that ball back for the bowler. There's no one inside the ring there on the leg side. Well, now you've got a man there.
Bowled him. Well, that's the end of Ritwik Berra. And that is just the breakthrough the Windies needed.
Yeah, the danger man now, Ritwik Berra. He'll have to walk back. Kevin Stout cleaning him up there. 4 and out for him. And they say the bowler always has the last laugh. Stout, he'd be ecstatic with that. Good delivery that, hitting middle and leg. Sending Berra back 65 from 44. 5 boundaries, 3 maximums. And this has truly been an amazing innings here from Berra. Couldn't have asked for anything more from the youngster.
Well, 116 on the board and still just over 4 overs to come. So if they can try and continue with some momentum, not get bogged down now that their big player is gone, the Canadians could get themselves up to a pretty hefty total here.
Yeah, and it appears the captain's coming out there. Abdullah Ghazi, that seems. And he's definitely one who can hit the long ball.
You have 30 seconds to take strike. Next number.
So 116 to go, rather. How many more do you think they can get here, the Canadians?
Well, they'll be looking at that 140, I think, if these two don't hang around. They haven't really got time to just play themselves in. They've seen that there are runs out there, and it's just been shown by Ritwik Berra, showing you can find those runs, take on the bowlers. 140, and they'd be very happy. And they've got time to do it, and they've still got just over 4 overs. Yeah. Find a boundary at the beginning of each over. Struck on the pad. Umpire unmoved. And Kevin Stout can't believe it.
He really thought he had Ghazi there. No bat involved. Hit on the knee roll there. Maybe just sliding down leg. Ghazi immediately shook his head no.
Well, 14 overs down, 4 still to come. Premium Canadians 116 for 3. Windies winning the toss, putting the Canadians into bat. It's been the destructive hitting of Rutger Berra that's really helped them get up to this total so far. They've got another 4 overs in hand to see if they can just push that throttle a little bit, get themselves up to the 130, 140 mark, and they'll feel very confident in the idea that they would be able to defend that.
Here we can see Gajanan Singh continuing 1 for 4 in his first over. Picked up a wicket off his first ball. And he'll be a key part of this Windies side with the bat in hand later on today, as they look to chase down how many ever more the Canadians can put on. As Rafi just looks to defend that delivery back. That's just clipped off his pads for a single, gets Ghazi onto strike.
Well, that's not bounced at all. Yeah, good running. Nicely played just off the back foot. Fielder comes around. Are they going to come back for 2? No, sent back. The chance might have been there. Nonchalant out at long on.
Give me another special. Yeah. Alright, sorry. Come down and take one.
Well, I think he's got him now. Rafi Hashmi stranded midway down the pitch. And it's going to be a run out there with Jonathan Fu having pulled that stump out. So another wicket falling here. That's very interesting. And want to have a look at the replay on that, because Ghazi was just staying at his end. So some miscommunication there. Rafi Hashmi stranded midway down the pitch. And I think the fourth umpires just told him to wait, make sure that it was properly dislodged there, that stump.
Really? Yes. You watch it back on the camera there, the one with the camera there. You watch it back. Check it? Yeah. Check it, make sure you're moving properly.
So it appears that the bails had fallen off. The stumps had been broken before Fu had the ball in his hand. But then after that, having pulled the stump out, I think the result's going to be the same, in the sense that Rafi will have to go back.
Well, that's actually pretty good awareness from Fu. He knew he'd broken the stumps, and he knew that he was going to have to take the action to pull the stump out with the ball in contact with it, or it wasn't going to be out and it was going to be a missed chance. But there it is. There's the red light. And he's got to go, and that's another wicket down. Well, the Windies just slowing the Premium Canadians down now.
A really good over that turned out to be from Gajanan Singh. I think just 2 runs from it, and that wicket of Rafi. As the new man comes in, I think that's Rasesh Berra, it appears that is, who's come out to bat. Primarily a fast bowler, but in at number 5 here today.
wasn't ready
Full
for that.
toss to start. Closes out the over. 15 overs gone, 3 still to come. Premium Canadians 118 for 4 after Windies won the toss and put them into bat.
You can bring Mario and Mario for 18.
Pacer continuing down, a couple of steps down the track, Ghazi takes. He's beat the infield, but there is a man out there at deep extra cover. So just a single it'll be. Gets Rasesh back on strike. Rasesh and Ritwik, both brothers there. Ritwik Behra, Rasesh Behra. Rasesh today want to take a page out of his brother's book, hit a couple of big shots here, moving into these final 3 overs.
Well, somehow that's beaten everything. Well, this has been a really good comeback from the Windies. They looked like they could be in deep, deep trouble when Ritwik Behra was absolutely flying the half-centurion, and he's bowled him. Well, a half-century for Whitwick, and it's a duck for Rajesh. And Kevin Stout has been brought on, and in just the space of 2 overs, he's turned this game and he's picked up 2 wickets.
Yeah, Rasesh looking to go down the ground between bat and pad, hits middle and leg. And he'll have to walk back for a duck here. 3rd ball duck for him. Canadians now, they've lost half their side for 119. And it's Kevin Stout there, the man who's gotten both the Behra brothers to pick up his 2nd wicket. Balpreet Singh now will be the new man to come in. Try and get the Canadians here to a good total, 140 we were talking about earlier. Kevin Stout, this is some wonderful death bowling from him. 2 for 9 in the 9 deliveries he's bowled. As Balpreet takes guard, Jonathan Frew just makes some changes to that field. Looks to just guide that one down. Some footwork to stop it once again. As with that Balpreet Singh, he'll get off the mark. I feel a lot rests on Abdullah Ghazi now. The captain here of the Canadian side hasn't found the boundary as yet. but he definitely has the power to do so. He's played some fine cameos in the past. Steps down this time, he's driven that through covers. Is a man out there though, just keeping it to a couple of runs. Excellent running.
Well, just over 2 overs to come in this. What can they put on the scoreboard? 122 now. And he's almost played on there. It's a really good spell, this, from Kevin Stout. He's changed this game, picking up those 2 wickets. So 2 overs still to come. What can they get from here? 5 wickets down. Remember, this shortened 18 over a side game between the team in red and the team in maroon. Well, Kevin Stout, he still has 2 up his sleeve, so you imagine he'll bowl another, but it's who's going to bowl this 17th.
I think you could look at Gajanan Singh. He is a spinner, but he's done well those last 2 overs at the death. Will be Balpreet Singh to face. Tough job for him as well. He's come in, he's got to start teeing off from the first ball. And I think it is Gajanan Singh here, 1 for 6 in his 2 overs. He's been excellent today as well. This death bowling from the Windies, led by Gajanan and Kevin Stout, has truly brought them back into this game. And both of them will have their work cut out for them with the bat in hand as well. Stout opening alongside Johnson, Gajanan in at 3. That solid top 3 there for the West Indies, or for the Windies. As this is just flicked away for the single. Gets Ghazi back on strike, which I don't think the Canadians would mind here, because Ghazi is really the one who's faced a few deliveries out there. He's got a few big hits in the tank.
Well, not where he was aiming, but they're going to run hard and run fast and try and get back for 2. There's a score up to 125. And 10 deliveries still to come.
And Balpreet there, he was interested in a 3rd. He's sprinting around out there for those runs. Very quick between the wickets.
Well, he goes the aerial route, doesn't quite get a hold of it, and they're going to have to be quick if they're going to scamper back, and it's good running. This is what you want to see as you come towards the end of that innings. If you can't find those boundaries, push hard, push for those 2s. Take on the fielder out on the boundary. And they're up to 127. Again, good running, good awareness.
Last ball, huh?
Clipped away, running the first one hard. Just one, says Balpreet Singh.
So 7 from the penultimate over. Gajanan, he's done well here in the 17th.
Well, he goes the aerial route. The fielder coming round can just watch it soar over his head, over the boundary and over the hoardings. And that's 6 to finish the over. Well, at the end of 17, the Premium Canadians 135 for 5, still 1 over to come. And that 140 very much looks on.
Yes, turning out to be a pretty good over that from Gajanan Singh. His figure spoiled there with a maximum, and there's the power that Abdullah Ghazi possesses. The captain in the death overs. It's hit straight down the ground.
Well, 13 in the end from that penultimate over, and it will be Kevin Stout, I think, to bowl the final here. 2 wickets for him.
Right, skip. Yeah, Kirk, you got to bring one more in.
Yeah, we can still do it 4 out. 4 out, not 4 out. No, 50. Not 4 out now. Right now, we got not 4 out.
So 135 now, the Canadians. 140 they should be able to cross. Can they get to 145 now though? 10 away. Kevin Stout, he's been excellent today. 2 for 12 in his 2 overs. Economy of 6, got both the Behra brothers.
Full toss up in the air, over the fielder. Thought he was in with a chance for a minute at extra cover. And they'll come back for 2. Kevin Stout just having a quick shout, but realises there was never really that chance. It was well over the fielder's head. 5 deliveries to come, 137 on the board. That's a good recovery. Full Yorker.
And Balpreet there just stepping down the track. Couldn't do much with that delivery though.
Again, looks to swing through, just gets that bottom edge.
Gets Ghazi back on strike though for the Canadians, who's got 3 to face now in this innings.
White ball.
Well, not where he was aiming, ends up with 1 hand on it. The full Yorker somehow gets through, and they'll scamper through for 1, and they'll take any run they can. And it is also a wide.
So a couple more runs there added to the Canadians' tally, brings them up to 140 now. With 3 balls still to go.
Goes the aerial route, 1 bounce 4. That brings it 144. Well, 150's looking on now.
Balpreet finally with his first boundary. Saw that full on the stumps and decides to take it on right back over the bowler's head. Nine runs already coming from this over. Still a couple of deliveries to go, but expensive. Stout's turning out to be now in his final over.
That's just what you want. The dot ball looks to give it everything and hoik it over the leg side. Doesn't make contact. One still to come. What can he do with this final delivery? Well, under edge, and they're going to push for two. Well, that ends the innings. 146 posted by the premium Canadians. Much of that thanks to the power hitting of Ritwik Berra. It was slowed down a little bit by Kevin Stout. He picks up a couple. But 146 on the board. They'd be pretty pleased with that inside their 18 overs. The premium Canadians on their first outing.
A reduced 18 overs game with 147 as that target for the Windies. And we should be in for quite an entertaining chase there in that second innings.
Well, it was that man at the top, Ritwik Berra, 65 for him. And then a few cameos in there, but it was really him that got them up and running and flying, hitting it to all parts. Well, Nosharon Khan, he was dealing only in boundaries. In the end, he went for 16, but in the end, 16 extras as well on that total. And in just 18 overs, they rack up 146, and this is going to have to be quite some chase for the Windies. We saw them setting that mega total yesterday, where they're going to have to come out flying at the beginning in the same way they did if they want to chase this down. Well, a difficult day for some of the bowlers. Pick of them easily, Kevin Stout. He picks up 2 from his 3 overs, just the 23 runs. An expensive final over for him. But Elias, he grabs 1, and 1 also for Gajnan Singh, but 25 from his 3 without a wicket for Mario Lebon. Expensive day out for him. Aaron Johnson as well, going at 9 and over. And those 16 extras could prove costly. So in their 18 overs, 146 for 5 is what the Canadians have racked up against that bowling attack. Well, they need 147 to win the premium Windies. Can they do it in their 18 overs? Well, we'll be back after the break for the chase.
Welcome back everyone to Musa Stadium, where we've got the Canadians taking on the Windies. Batting first here, Canadians. 146 they were able to put on in their first game. They've had some games scheduled which they haven't been able to play as a result of rain. But finally on the field today. There you can see the team photo being taken. 146 for 5, a reduced overs game, just 18 overs due to a delayed start as we had a wet outfield. And now looking to get their first win here today, the Canadians. 146 is what they've got to defend. The Windies, though, they've been doing well in this tournament. The defending champions are the Windies, and they'll be eager to pick up another couple of points here today against the Canadians. A few big players from both sides not in action today, which gives the youth and a lot of the younger players, a lot of the local players, some good opportunities here.
It's okay.
And the Canadian side now, you can see them take the field. Gautam Gajala saw him opening the batting now with the gloves. Ritvik Behra there.
Let's go.
You can see as well. Well, that's Atif Gill, the manager of the side. But Ritvik Behra, what an innings he played today. Scintillating stuff there from him. And there's the shot there, Musa Stadium. That's from the far end, the Pearland end. We're sitting over here at the Massey Ranch end. And in for what should be quite the chase here, because the Windies, yesterday they were able to make 170 odd. Today though, chasing 146, and I think a lot of it's going to depend on their top three, which is that of Aaron Johnson, Kevin Stout, Gujanan Singh. They're going to have to do the bulk of the run scoring. And just a slight delay here. Not quite sure why, but you can see the Windies batsmen taking the field as well. Their two openers. Saw him on show with the bat today. And there's Abdullah Ghazi just making some changes to his field. And it seems that it will be Rafi Hashmi to open the attack. The fast bowler, quite the experience he's got under his belt. Played a lot of high-level cricket in Afghanistan and then moving to the US as the Windies openers take guard. Rafi Hashmi now, top of his mark. Ready to get going here. I'm Jay Lance, joining you live from the commentary box at Musa Stadium, where we are all set for the second innings here, the chase. Should be ready to begin. As we just have a couple of last minute delays here. And it seems that we are all set to start now. The batsmen just having a chat Maybe just another couple of minutes here. And there you can have a look at Musa Stadium. An international level stadium here. Has held quite a few international games out here in Houston, Texas. And now the venue for the second edition of the American Premier League 2023. Here we go now. First ball, Hashmi runs in. And that one's going to be down the leg side, signal a wide. With that, the Windies off the mark first up. Kevin Stout there, the man on strike. Aaron Johnson at the non-striker's end. And this time Mrs. Gajala there. It's running away towards the boundary. Won't get there. But comfortably coming back for a couple of runs are the two batsmen. Let's see if he got some bat on it. No, it is wides once again. So Ruffy just not getting his line quite right here. A couple of wides to start off. 3 runs for the Windies. This one coming in, wrapped on the pads. A huge appeal from Ruffy. But the umpire not interested there. Ruffy really thought he had him. And what a ball that was. Have a look. That swung in a mile there. Hitting Stout on the pads. Had no clue whatsoever. And joining me now in the commentary box, Georgie, great to have you back.
Well, that would have been just the start, wouldn't it, for the Canadians, picking up an early wicket. We know what these two can do up at the top. You see they're signalled wide. I mean, extra runs for the Windies. They won't mind that. But they set such a mighty target. And we saw these two opening the batting yesterday. You know, we've seen lots of changes in opening partnerships for this Windies side, but this is a settled one. They stuck with the same as yesterday, and I'm not surprised at all. But that wicket to go down there. But this has been lack of discipline so far. Just the one legitimate delivery, and already 6 on the board. Well, chipped up in the air, just over the fielder.
Hashimi here is getting some good swing here. That ball once again coming back in. Not quite able to find his line here in the first over. With those being the first runs from the bat, gets Johnson off the mark.
Clipped away nicely off his legs, and it'll just slow down in that outfield. Quick work in the outfield there by the fielder in the deep, and they're going to come back for 2. It looks like Aaron Johnson is signalling he wants a new bat, perhaps. It's a lovely looking shot along the floor. Slight misfield, but hasn't cost them anything extra. They're dynamic out in the field, these Canadians. And here comes Rajnanan with the different set of blades for Aaron Johnson to choose from.
Abdullah Ghazi now the captain, just having a chat with his bowler. And a nice start this has been for the Windies. A quick start as a result of those extras. And that's much better from Ruffy. Targeting that off stump, just defended by Stout.
Shorter, not timed. They'll pick up another one. Well, that target, 147. Well, Kevin Stout, just the one to his name so far. 10 on the board, they won't mind that. 6 of those coming in extras, the Windies. So 3 runs for them, an expensive first over.
New pitch this, a fresh pitch put together for this game. And the captain Abdullah Ghazi now coming in from the other end.
That's good pace to start off.
And right on target there as Johnson just looks to defend it. Ghazi, a very experienced player himself. Played a couple of seasons of minor league cricket here in the US.
Again, good pace. He's done for pace, swinging through it. And good awareness behind the sticks, thinking he perhaps could have been out of his crease there. Yeah, coming down the pitch and just beating the outside edge. Well, that's going to race for 4 bonus runs.
Yeah, and the Windies, they'll take him. We've seen some bonus runs, some free runs as a result of those extras. Now this boundary here, no slip in place. And no one out there in the deep as well. So first boundary of the innings comes off the bat of Aaron Johnson.
Well, that's good pace. It's a good recovery. And also good running between the sticks.
And Ghazi now, he's got a slip in place as well after that edge on the previous delivery. We've got Rithwik Behra there next to the keeper.
Well fielded off his own bowling. One more to the total. Well, end of 2 overs in this shortened 18 over a side game. Windies that target 147 find themselves 17 without loss. Remember, in this shortened 18 over a side game, 5 overs of power play. Bowlers can have 3 of them, can bowl 4, and the rest 3 each. And drinks taken after 9 overs. Should a wicket not fall in the 9th. Well, struck on the pad. Bowler likes it. Umpire less so.
Yeah, Rafi continuing here. Starts off with another excellent delivery. That was going well down leg, that.
Clipped away, misfield. They won't capitalise, just the one. So there's that equation for you. 129 needed off 94. Well, we know what Aaron Johnson can do. We saw him do it yesterday.
I think wickets would really be key here for the Canadians. If they can get a couple early in the power play, as that one's going to go over the top. A boundary now for the Windies once again. This time comes off the bat of Johnson. We saw him with an edge which went to the boundary a bit earlier. This time though off the middle, and a convincing boundary that. So Ruffy there giving him some width, capitalizes on it, does Johnson.
Well, as Wally was out here in the commentary box with me last week, and now he's out on the field. Well, this is a much better over from Rafi Hashimi. Six coming from it so far, but his previous over, he really struggled bowling extras. They close it out with the single. So the end of 3, the Windies 24 without loss. Well, Aaron Johnson, 12 from 10 for him. Extras doing half the heavy lifting at the moment. 8 extras. 24 on the board after just 3 overs. But that total, 147, is quite a hefty one. And Abdullah Ghazi to continue. Just the 5 coming off his first over from the tall pacer.
And Ghazi saw him with bat in hand a bit earlier, the captain. Hit a couple of good shots finishing the innings off. And now with the ball here, looking for that early breakthrough. That'll just be out to mid-off. No Shirwan Khan there.
Bouncer chipped up in the air, will land safe between the two fielders. The fielder comes around from long on and cleans up. I like this variation from Abdullah Ghazi. And that required rate already up over 8.
A bit of a slower start there for the Windies. Saw those extras in that first roughy over, but the 2 batters, Johnson 13 off 12, Stout 10 balls for 6, haven't really gotten going.
That's a lovely looking shot along the ground, back past the bowler. Not going to catch that one. And that's 4 in the bank for Aaron Johnson.
His 3rd boundary now. Was just saying that they hadn't really gotten going, but there's a boundary there to spoil Ghazi's figures just a bit. Beats mid-off, and that raced away down the ground. Will just be that dot to finish the over off, so 7 from it. And after 4, 31 for no loss now are the Windies. 1 over left in the power play.
Well, again waving to the dugout. They're after something, the 2 batters in the middle. I think it looks like the keeper wants a helmet.
Ritvik Behra being brought on, so the first signs of spin now with the first bowling change. Did so well with the bat earlier today, did Behra.
Yeah, and you'll think hopefully he can carry that confidence and that momentum into his bowling. They really need to make a breakthrough here. Yes, that required rate is up over 8, but we know what these 2 can do with the blade in hand. And they can easily take this on. 31 without loss inside 4, still another over of the power play to come. He starts with one into the pitch.
Ritvik here coming right arm around looking to really angle it away from the right-handed Stout.
Well, 3 dots to start. It's just what you want coming off the back of a half century.
I think the dot balls will also just start to build some pressure here on the 2 batters.
That's a lovely looking shot. 2 fielders give chase. It's really good work. Quick chase out there. And like you say, it's going to start putting pressure on, and they're going to have to start trying to take on the bowling. They won't be able to do it in one's run rate up over 8.5 already. Again, into the pitch.
Just 2 runs coming from that Rithvik over. A really good one there to finish the power play off. 5 overs done, 33 for no loss here are the Windies. Chasing 147 here as the target.
Well, Ritwik Berra, what a day he's having. Half century to him, and then he comes out and his first over goes for just 2 inside the power play. And obviously in this shortened game, 5 overs of power play, so you can see there umpire Brian signalling the end of that power play. Windies 33 without loss. Around on par with where the Canadians were at this point in their innings, but then we did see that acceleration from Ritwik Berra in particular.
And we could well see it again from someone like an Aaron Johnson, who we saw yesterday did really well against the Parks. Kevin Stout definitely has the ability to go big. For now, though, it's going to be another bowling change as Balpreet Singh is brought on, replacing Abdullah Ghazi from the Pearland end. Will be Pace replacing Pace as he just makes some changes to his field.
Well, he thought he was struck on the pad there. Just Balpreet Singh going up for that one. Just have a look at the umpire. No, he says there was bat on there. Yeah, well kept out. There's a fielder out there. He's going to have to do well. He does do well to get there. And it's a good arm as well. Well, this is tight fielding as well from the premium Canadians today. And they're really up for this. If they can just keep Aaron Johnson quiet.
Yeah, he's really going to be the big danger man here for the Windies. Oh, and he's got him. There's the wicket. Aaron Johnson goes. Balpreet Singh strikes, and what a wicket that is. We were just talking about keeping him quiet, and you can't do that much better than just sending him back. The first wicket now down for the Windies, and it's a big one.
Well, you know that commentator's curse, that predicting you were talking about. I think I'm going to have to buy myself a lottery ticket. They're saying just keep him quiet. Well, best way to do it, completely shut him up and dismantle the stumps. The electrics are going to have to go again. The bails are everywhere. Well, Balpreet Singh absolutely loved that one. And Aaron Johnson, we know how destructive he can be. We've seen it already in the tournament. Oh, he's got to go.
I think that'll bring out Gajanan Singh out to the middle most likely. We'll confirm that for you. and Kevin Stout, Gajanan Singh. Still two quality batters there who've done well in this tournament. But for the time being, the Canadians, momentum with them at the moment. They've kept a lid on run scoring. Now that wicket as well, just bringing everything together. Slower ball to start off there, gave it some flight, but just flicked away out to the man in the deep to get off the mark with a single.
Well, 28 to his name yesterday, Gajanan Singh, from just 21. Two big lusty blows, his sixes and a 4 in there. And obviously we saw that one, the game awareness, when he chipped it up in the air and it almost came down to land on his own stump. So he gave it a big old hefty boot, saved himself, and then went next delivery.
It actually appears that Gajanan Singh will have to wait to come out, because I think it's Sean Findlay who's actually got a promotion up the order there. Coming in at number 3. We'll give you some confirmation on that in just a couple of minutes, as we just confirm who's out there.
He struck on the pad and the bowler really likes it. Just tucked him up in the crease, almost falling over as well. And Sean Findlay out there, apologies. Well, we saw him in the first game of the tournament kick things off with a half century. Some lusty blows, and he's going to want to do the same today. He's been promoted up the order. He's been all over this Windies batting lineup. He's been at the top. He's been down as far as 8. He's come in at 6, and today he comes in at 3.
Yeah, interesting to see Gajanan not coming in at 3 here, because I think this is a pretty nice scenario for him to come in. He's more of an anchor player. You need another 110 in 12 overs. You can really have someone bat till that 16th, 17th over mark, and you'd want Gajanan out there. So interesting there, that promotion of Findlay. And we'll have to see if it pays off for the Windies in the time being. Ritwik Behra continuing.
Well, that equation now, 109 needed off just 71. And they need to start finding these boundaries. They've dried up, and, well, Ritwik Behra, tight first over. And continuing in the same vein in his second. Shortened 18 over game, so 3 of the bowlers, they can do 4. The other 2, 3 apiece. Chipped back up to the bowler. Well, what a day that man is having. Not only does he get a half century, he's now got a caught and bowled. And the Canadians are on top and flying here.
The promotion of Sean Findlay not working out for the Windies as they lose their second wicket. Just chipped it back up in the air. A good low catch that by Behra, with that ball returning to him. But the Canadians, they'll be happy. A second wicket now they've picked up. Findlay just tapped it up, and a good catch that by Behra. Low 2 is left. Sends Finley back for just 1. And Windies now 2 down, not looking too good out in the middle.
Well, now it does bring Gajnan Singh to the middle. He comes to join Kevin Stout. 11 from 19 for the opener at the moment. But Ritwik Berra, what a day he's having. And that just shows what pressure can do.
And I think this is now the main partnership here for the Windies, which has really got to do the bulk of that run scoring. Gajnan Singh, Kevin Stout, the 2 in-form players. They're 2 down early here. Still quite the runs to get, 110 odd runs to get.
Well, that required rate pushing up almost to 9.5 now. And the flighted delivery is just dug out and driven along the ground to extra cover. Two out on the boundary on the leg side. Deep square, deep in wicket. We've got a long off, a long on. And dealing in ones isn't going to get them anywhere at the moment. But it does bring Kevin Stout back on strike. He's going to have to be the aggressor, you would think. He's the set batter, 11 from 19, but can easily push that up. There's a fielder out there, and he'll just be the one. He'll retain strike for the next over. End of 7 overs. The Windies 40 for 2. Just the 3 runs and the wicket coming from that over from Ritwik Berra. Just the 2 wickets to fall. Well, Rafi Hashimi has been expensive, 17 from his 2 overs. At first, he's just struggled a little bit. Lots of extras in there from him. So 17 from his 2, and Berra and Balpreet Singh picking up a wicket apiece. And that economy rate, just 2.5 from the half centurion.
Yes, a little wrong today has Berra. First with the bat, now with the ball. Balpreet continuing here. He goes aerial, he's got it over the infield, racing away towards the boundary. And the ball wins the chase in the end as well. So Kevin Stout here, starting off with this Balpreet Singh over with a boundary. Might not have quite been the direction he was trying to go, but he'll pick up 4 runs nevertheless.
Full delivery, well dug out. You have to be quick. Well, that required rate up over 9.5, pushing up towards 10. Opening this over with the boundary, though. That's what you want to do. Try and make a dent in that required rate straight away, and then just be able to capitalize on that for the next 5 deliveries. Been impressed by this from the Canadians today. They were good with the bat. They really pushed on, and at the end just injected something into that innings as well to push them up to that, over that 140, almost up to the 150. And then today with the ball and in the field, they seem really dynamic. They're a unified team out there. Bodies on the line, that's going to be...
Yeah, and I'm sure they would have been eager to go out there, play some games. Their first few with some washouts. Didn't have the best weather out here in Houston, but finally getting a game here. That delivery you can see just about missing off stump. But finally getting a game and raring to go here are the Canadians.
That's found the gap. Fielder out there coming round, and again just one. So 7 off this over. It's not enough at the moment. Got to find the boundary to close it out if they want to try and keep up with that required run rate that is growing and getting a little ahead of them. The left-hander faces up to the right arm pacer, and he's bowled him. Well, the Canadians, what a day they are having. Balpreet Singh, he holds his arms out wide and he punches the air. And Gajanan Singh, he can be destructive, but he has to go for just 2. And the Windies, they're in all sorts of strife. They're 47 for 3. They need another 100 runs.
A huge wicket that is. Balpreet Singh cleaning another batsman up right through the defenses of Gajanan Singh. And the Canadians, another wicket they'll be ecstatic with. Gajanan gone for just 2. Third one down now for the Windies with just 47 on the board. And they are not looking too good out there now, are the Windies. Balpreet Singh, 2 wickets. He's really turning this game around now for the Canadians. Saw a decent start there from the Windies in the power play, but now 3 wickets in quick succession. And the pressure continues to build on them.
Oh, batting in sunglasses. I'm here for it. How about you?
Yeah, absolutely. We've seen quite the sunglasses show here today.
The Windies, I think, that's the table they're very much top of at the moment. The sunglasses show. But at the moment, it's the Canadians show. The premium Canadians are dominating here. 8 overs down. They've got the Windies 47 for 3 after setting 147. 447, can you imagine? Whew. 147 as that target.
And it seems Quayne Patton Jr. has found his way out into the middle. He'll be at the non-striker's end with that wicket falling on the last ball of the previous over. And that one aerial as well, on the bounce, out to the man in the deep. I think that was Balpreet there out at the boundary. With this bowling partnership here in the middle overs, Hrithwik Behra, Balpreet Singh has swung the momentum the Canadians' way.
Yeah, at the change of innings, they would have been very happy with the 147, but the openers looked like they were just starting to try and get going. 33 inside the 5 over power play, but the quick wickets falling and the real stoppers on that run scoring. And they're working nicely in conjunction with each other. Well, dragged down slightly. Fielder in with a chance, and he just evades him. And it goes for 6. Well, it's just the injection that the Windies needed into this chase.
There's something to smile about there for the Windies side, as with that maximum, their 50 comes up as well. 55 for 3 with the ball to go in the 9th. Final ball before the drinks break. And that's just going to be clipped out to the man in the deep. To finish off the over with a single. 9 coming from it. And after 9, 56 for 3 are the Windies. 91 more needed in the second half of the innings. So do join us for that right after this quick drinks break.
Well, drinks taken. And we're almost back underway here at the glorious Musa Stadium on a wonderful day in Pearland, Houston, Texas, for season 2 of the American Premier League. You're watching the Premium Canadians take on the Premium Windies. Well, it was a batting masterclass from Ritwik Berra, and he's now picked up important wickets too. So the Windies, needing 91 off their remaining 9 overs, find themselves 56 for 3 and in need of some acceleration into this innings.
And we see a bowling change as well. Rasesh Berra coming in. We've seen his brother do some quite amazing things today, and he'd want to look to do the same here, would the pacer. Replacing Balpreet Singh, so saving his over for a bit later, because I don't think he was bowled out.
Well, 91 needed off 52, and struggling to get it past the fielders at the moment. Can't pick out the gaps. Kevin Stout, he needs to be the aggressor. 26 off 30 for him. And Kawame Patin Jr. is just watching at the other end at the moment, only faced the 2 deliveries. Well, that's up and over, and it's going to bounce twice. It's still cut off at the boundary, and still only 1. Really getting blustery out there. You can see players' trousers blowing, the flags in the distance flapping around. Well, the Windies need to get a bit of wind in their sails if they want to try and make a dent in this run chase.
That one just clipped away. The bowler himself chasing after it. I think it was in a test match sometime back, Mohammad Siraj chased, he was bowling, chased after the ball all the way to the long off boundary.
Dedication, that is. He looks to swing big. He does find the gap, not quite where he was aiming. And they're going to come back for an easily made 2. That required rate over 10.5 now. This over, just the 4 coming off it and 1 still to come. Well, that'll help. And that goes for 6.
An excellent shot there by Kevin Stout. Trying to lower that required rate now. It's down to 10.12. So below 10.5 now, and what a shot that was. Takes a step out. Saw that fuller delivery and goes well over long off with it. So it was turning out to be a good over from Rasesh. Had gone for just the 4, a maximum to finish it. And after 10, 66 for 3 here are the Windies.
Yeah, 10 coming off that over. Started with a couple of dots and then just an acceleration at the end of the over. Well, Kevin Stout, he knows that he needs to be the aggressor in this partnership, and he's doing just that. 35 from 33 for the opener.
And really Stout at this stage, when you have a look at that required rate, 10 and over, as he's looking for that sweep, Patton misses it. But when you look at that required rate at 10 and over, if you can just get 1 boundary, and then it's just really singles and 2s, just look to play some smart cricket. So you don't have to go after everything.
To get after Ritwik Berra here, who was actually bowling out. This will be his 4th over, and that'll be him done. So interesting, they're bowling him out this early in the innings. They feel that they're in with the chance if they can break this partnership, get rid of one of these, especially the danger man, Kevin Stout. And he does look like the man who's taking the wickets at the moment, Ritwik Berra. So if he can see the back of one of these 2, very, very much the Windies game, the Canadians game.
And I think Balpreet Singh still has 2 overs left. Those will be utilized well in these last 7 overs after this one.
He's not time to cover off it. Straight back to the bowler. He has his 2nd caught and bowled of the day to go with a half century. Ritwik Berra, what a day he is having. The Canadians are all over the defending champions, Premium Windies here, and they pick up another. And it's trouble stations for the men in maroon.
Yeah, Hrithwik Berra first with the bat, now with the ball. His second cotton bowled, and Windies not looking good now. Fourth one down for them, as Quayne Patton Jr. will have to walk back. Just looking for that big hit, trying to go over the bowler's head, didn't get much on it. And Hrithwik taking a good catch there, hit right back to him to send Patton on his way. Just 4 he could make. And into the 11th, 68 for 4 now are the Premium Windies in some trouble, as a new man comes in and in need of a partnership here. Seems it's Faisal Zaza who joins Kevin Stout out there in the middle. And with that required rate rising, he won't have too much time to settle in here today. And a single to finish that over up. Just 3 runs and a wicket from it. Hrithwik Berra, he bowls out. 2 for 17 in his 4 overs. You could not have asked for anything more of him. And after 11, 69 for 4 here are the Windies.
Well, 7 overs to come. That target 147 seems quite a long way off. 4 wickets down as well. But Kevin Stout is out there, and we've seen what he can do, and it's going to be down to him, you would think, at this point.
Yeah, I think you've still got Jonathan Fu to come as well. He can bat, play a nice cameo towards the end. Represented the Philadelphians in minor league cricket, and he played in a few innings under pressure there in run chases when wickets had fell early, finishing innings off well. So he is a good finisher there, Jonathan Fu. Still in the hut.
Yeah, he's struggled to really fire so far in the tournament, so he might be required today to find that form that you speak of. Well, Zaza's made the switch from hat to helmet, facing up to the pacer. That's well kept down. They're going to have to be quick, easy as you like, but they're not going to do it in singles. 70 up. Still picks out the man. Good connection. It's just the direction that's the problem. That's another dot. Every dot ball and every just single building that pressure, going to force them to try and do something.
Now the Canadians, they'd really want to look to get a couple more wickets here, trying to wrap this up quickly for them. Because their net run rate as it rests right now, this being the first game they're actually playing, rests at 0. And with this being quite a competitive tournament, a short tournament, 7 teams, 4 of them going into the playoffs, it could well come down to net run rate there for the Canadians. For the time being, Kevin Stout there is going to be the one man they're going to want to get.
Well, they're playing tip and run at the moment. But even doing that, dealing in singles only get them up to 6 and over. Well, they're not even halfway through this required run rate yet. 72 on the board, that target 147. And they've only got 6.5 overs in which to do it.
There's still more than half the runs to get.
Well, that'll help.
Kevin Stout there, launching that one into the deep mid-wicket boundary. And Rasesh, been a pretty good over up until that point, now goes for a few. Down on one knee there, just opens up. And there was a man out there at the boundary, goes well over him though. For that maximum. I think that's just what they're trying to confirm, if it's a maximum or a boundary. 4 or 6.
Good connection. Just helped it on its way. And that's just what the Windies needed. That's over the rope, and that'll be 6.
Yeah, both arms aloft there for umpire Brian Kane.
Well, they'll take this, and that's going to be 4. Well, 10 off the last 2 deliveries, 14 coming from that over. 12 overs down, Windies 83 for 4. And Kevin Stout, he is rolling along. Well, that expensive over, 14 coming from it. Kevin Stout hitting big and hitting long for the last 2 deliveries, just injecting impetus into this innings like we said he can. And he's got his eyes on a half-century of his own today.
Now we can see the captain bring himself back on, Abdullah Ghazi. Saw him in the power play with a couple of overs. Comes back in now in search of wickets. Two overs, none for 12 there in the power play. Did extremely well. Now starts off with a dot. And that's cut away. It's found the gap as well. And there's another boundary. So we saw Stout do it at the other end. Faisal Zaza now, he joins the party. And an excellent shot that was, placed it to perfection. Had some width on it there. And just cut it away nicely.
Drop and run. Good recovery that from the bowler. Swing and a miss, trying to give it a bit of everything, and it's somehow beaten the edge. And it's a good take by the keeper. Well, that's the shot he was trying to play in the previous delivery. And it's a valiant effort out in the deep, and it's going to be another boundary off the bat of that man, Kevin Stout.
I think that might have just brought up the 50 there for Kevin Stout. We'll get you the confirmation on that in just a second. Nevertheless, he's playing an amazing innings out there. We've seen wickets falling at the other end, but Kevin Stout there from the beginning.
Well, that discussion in the middle between those two. You just carry on playing like you are, Mr. Stout, and we could be in with a chance here. I'll keep you company and do what I can, but find those boundaries and try and get back up with that run rate. While he's there, the Windies have hope.
Yeah, Kevin Stout, quite the hand he's playing. Now, Balpreet Singh, he's still got 2 overs left, so it'll be interesting to see here. Do the Canadians look to bowl him now in search of a wicket, or do they save him for the death? That'll be the question there for the Canadians. For now, though, it's going to be Rafi Hashimi with ball in hand. Was a tad bit expensive with extras in his first over. Came back well after that, though. None for 17 in his 2 till now. In first third.
Well, he's found the gap. Fielder's going to have to give chase. Sticks out a boot and manages to save it.
And now Sherwan Khan, the squash player, seems he's got some foot skills as well.
Uses his feet and goes aerial, goes back over the bowler's head. And 6 signalled. Well, Kevin Stout, he moves on to 63.
That required rate now just above 10. The 100 coming up for the Windies with that. Take a look, a few steps down the track. Rafi continuing to go for a few runs here.
Oh, back of the hand from Rafi. Brings about just a single. Well, it's just chipped up in the air. He's managed to keep it out somehow. And the bowler with the double teapot. Well, it's already 10 runs coming off this over. Perhaps striking on the toe. No, I think there's some bat in there.
Yeah, perhaps just an inside edge on the way through. This one struck through the covers. Once again, that man out in the deep. Bit of a misfield. As they come back for another couple of runs now. 66 Kevin Stout's on to.
And that's 12 off this over already, with another 1 to come. Full toss, dug out. Closed out the over with a single. 13 coming from it. 14 overs gone. Another 4 remaining. That target, 147. The Windies 105 for 4. Well, if Kevin Stout can stay out there and play like this, he'll get them up with that run rate. And we could be in for a tight finish. Another 42 needed to win in 4 overs. This is swinging much further, much back towards the Windies than we thought it would, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Still an uphill struggle, but...
In 42 and 4 overs, you do see more than that in T20 cricket. Kevin Stout really there, the danger man. If Kevin Stout goes, then the Canadians would feel confident in their chances. And having a look at the bowling, Ritwik Behra, he's already bowled out. You can have 3 bowlers bowl 4 overs. So Ritwik's bowled 4, Ghazi and Hashmi both have only bowled 3, and Balpreet and Rasesh have bowled 2 apiece. So I think Ghazi and Balpreet Singh, they'll probably be the ones to bowl out here. And maybe you have another over coming in from Rasesh Behra. Balpreet for now though.
Well, that's up in the air. Fielder thinks he's in with a chance. Well, he's not going to be unless he's beyond the boundary, and that's another 6 to Kevin Stout.
Kevin Stout continues. Balpreet Singh, he'd done so well today with the ball in hand, and his first delivery now has gone for a 6. On middle stump there, he went full and taken apart. Oh, he's got him, has he? He has! It's hit the leg stump there. There's the wicket. 6 and out there for Kevin Stout. And Balpreet Singh once again with another big wicket. How good is this man?
Well, that is just what they needed. Kevin Stout, he was eyeing up the highest score of the tournament, which is that 77, but he's got to go for a really well-made 73 from 48. He has done the bulk of the heavy lifting in this chase. He's got them. We sort of thought they might start getting back into this game, but with him going, well, their hopes will start to fade away, the Windies.
That one just clipping leg stump on the way through there. You can see Balpreet's reactions. I think first he was in an appeal almost, then he realized it had hit the leg stump. With Kevin Stout, a really well-made 73 now. Of just 48 deliveries, 5 6s he hits. And he'll have to walk back.
He gets the applause from some of the Premium Windies players there who are turning up for their afternoon game. Premium Indians, I should say. Taking on the Premium Americans in this afternoon's match. Double headers all day long here at the American Premier League Season 2 from the Musa Stadium in Pearland. But now it's about this chase. 36 still needed. Jonathan Fu, he needs to find some batting form. He was behind the sticks today, and now he's in front of them. And he's done by a slower ball to kick things off.
Yeah, Jonathan Fu, he has the finishing abilities, hasn't quite been able to show them off here at the APL. But this is the time now for him. 36 more needed.
Full toss, dug out. There's a fielder out there, so it'll just be the one, and Jonathan Fu is off the mark with a single. Now 3.5 overs to come, that target. Still 35 runs away. And that's found the edge. Fielder gives chase. And he does well to pull it back in before it hits the rope.
Now, assuming that Rasesh has to bowl one over here, where do you look to have that? Balpreet most probably bowling the penultimate, and then you've got Ghazi and Rasesh with an over each.
Well, I think at this point, it's not really too much of an issue when and where you bowl them. There's only 3 overs still to come after this one. Well, he's had a swing at that, and that's going to be 6. Well, we're just checking that might have hit the boundary on the full. We'll have a look.
Yeah, Jonathan Fu there, looking to go big, as he has to now from the first ball. Not really too much time for him to settle in.
Well, he used his feet, came down the pitch, took it on the half volley. And 2 fielders giving chase. Well, it's hit the cushion on the full, boundary 6. That's what Jonathan Fu wants to see. 28 needed off 19. That equation looking much brighter for the Windies.
14 already from this over. The big wicket of Kevin Stout, but quite the runs which have also been scored. A ball still to go here.
So 120 on the board, 15 overs gone, 3 still to come in this shortened 18 over a side game, and we could be in for a real finish here. The Windies already been involved in one against the Afghans earlier on in the tournament, came within touching distance, and Hayden Walsh Jr. almost saw them over the line. They lost the Afghans by 1 run that day. But he's not the man out there today.
Quite the field changes being made here by Balpreet Singh. He's got 1 ball left. Wants to make sure that everything is absolutely perfect.
Lovely delivery, right on the money, Yorker.
Well, that was actually the end of Balpreet Singh. It's Rasesh Behra now who's come in. I thought he had a ball left. But Rasesh Behra now. And he'll be bowling to Jonathan Fu, who's already hit a maximum. Perhaps the danger man out there at the moment. As that one's just going to be clipped off his pads. Takes a single, gets Quain Patton Jr. on strike. Which don't think the Canadians would mind that too much.
No, they won't mind them dealing in singles. Full toss. Kept out, and again just the single. They think they might have him run out here. Few hands gone up, and it's going upstairs.
Very sloppy work there from Jonathan Fu. Don't think his bat was quite grounded there. But we'll have a look.
Throw comes in. Direct hit, always a problem. Well, this is going to be very, very tight.
I think we're in between two frames here, because this one has his bat just in.
Well, could have dug out the dive and he would have been safe.
I think it's between two frames there when the ball actually hit the stump. And so it'll be interesting to see here. Maybe a different angle helps.
Dog shit. Right. I was just chilling. Oh, shit. I think you run out. Huh? You think I'm out? I think so too. Oh, wait, but keep going, keep going, keep going.
So what is the decision going to be on this one? It's been squeaky tight.
Well, let me get one of those bats. Dog shit, come.
And he's all right. Jonathan Fu survives by the skin of his teeth. That extra layer of lacquer perhaps on the end of his bat, saving him. Score 123 for 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that required rate down at 9.6 now. 2.5 overs to come. 24 needed. And they're going to push for 2. Throws come to the wrong end.
That's really well done there by Jonathan Fu, getting back for that second.
Well, Jonathan Fu facing up. He looks to try and swing, doesn't time it, and actually he's trying to push through for the 1 again. He's trying to take these sneaky singles, and he's sent back, and that's a dot ball as he just looks at the toe of that bat that saved him from that run out a few deliveries ago. And that's a lovely shot. Well placed through the covers, and that'll be 4 to close out the over. 9 coming from it. Jonathan Fu and Faisal Zaza between them doing almost what is needed. Well, 2 overs still to come. That score on the board, 129 for 5. Target 147. Looks like we could be on for a finish here.
18 more needed now. 12 balls to go. But the Canadians still have 2 of their premier bowlers with a couple overs left.
Well, take a wicket now, and this is the Canadians. But they open this up with a boundary, and we're going right down to the wire.
Now, Balpreet Singh's there standing at covers. Seems that it's going to be Abdullah Ghazi here bowling the penultimate over. So it's going to be a change of ends for Balpreet there in that final over. Ghazi here, the captain himself, in for the penultimate.
How many more needed to win?
18, 18, 12.
18 needed. Thank you, Vijay.
Excellent delivery to start off there from Ghazi. Beating Faisal Zaza.
He gets applause from his keeper. And again, a dot ball. There's a smile from Ghazi. Faisal Zaza whacks his pad in frustration.
Dots absolutely golden at the moment here for the Canadians. 10 balls, 18 more to get.
And he's trying to swing at everything now. 3 dots in a row for Ghazi. He's not picked up a wicket today, but that doesn't matter now. It's all about not being sent to the boundary, especially for a maximum.
Some late movement away on that delivery.
Well, they're now bringing the fielder in from deep cover, forcing him to have to go over the top. And again, oh, that's good running in the end. The backing up from Jonathan Fu, been really impressed by his desire to push for these quick singles. But it's only one.
Eight more balls to go, 17 runs to get. Fu has got to find at least one boundary now here in this over.
Well, that's up in the air. And that will be the boundary. Couple of bounces and it hits the rope. Top edge. Unlucky Ghazi, but Jonathan Fu is going to swing, and he's going to swing hard. And when you swing hard and you make some kind of contact, you're more than likely to find the boundary.
Yeah, that fielder was brought in from there just a couple balls back, and that's exactly where it's gone. Final ball of the penultimate now.
It's up in the air, and it's gone for 6. We are on for a hell of a finish here. Jonathan Fu, he's playing his part. That brings up 140 with an over to come. They need just 7 runs to win this, the Windies, and my, has this game swung.
Oh, those last 2 balls, and the pendulum is back with the Windies there. What a hit that is, under pressure. Jonathan Fu has gone a long, long way back. Ghazi there, it was turning out to be a really good over from him. He'd be disappointed with those last couple of deliveries. But from a Canadian perspective, it's now going to be Faisal Zaza who's on strike, who wasn't able to quite get bat on ball there in that last over. Not able to get his timing right.
Yeah, that's just what the Canadians and the Canadian fans would want to see.
And as expected with the ball in hand, Balpreet Singh coming in. Now the field's quite spread out here, so the single is on here if they are to just tap the ball and run, which I think is perhaps what Zaza would be looking to do. Especially there on the leg side, some huge gaps. With just 7 runs needed to win. It's a bit interesting there that the field is so spread out from the Canadians. Would have thought that they'd want to have a couple more fielders in, especially on the leg side.
Now, does he just push it for 1 and get Fu back on strike, or does he try and take it on himself? Dugout goes to the fielder, missed field. Oh, it could have been a chance of the run out. Fu was already well on his way down the wicket. And Zaza knew that he was just going to have to get his skates on, regardless of where that went. Well, that gets Jonathan Fu back on strike, which is just what the Windies fans and the Windies players will want to see. He's come to the party in this game.
These are the finishing capabilities of Jonathan Fu here. We've seen it before, first time in the APL now.
Well, there were a few cheers from out here, but that was what you call a crowd catch.
Four balls, 6 to win here. As Balpreet just makes a couple of changes. Racing in now to Jonathan Fu. It's a full toss. Hit towards that man at extra cover, and they're just going to get the single. Gets Fu off strike now. 5 needed from 3. And this is turning out to be an absolute nail-biter here. Zaza now on strike. He's on 16 off 15. Just got to look to play it smartly here.
Well, 3 deliveries come, just 5 needed. It's Fazal Zazai on strike. And he digs it up in the air. Fielder thought they might be in with a chance for a moment, but just the one, and that gets Jonathan Fu back on strike, which is just what the Canadians want at this point.
4 runs still to get here. 2 balls to go. Could we have wished for a better finish here today?
Well, they looked down and out, and then Kevin Stout came out and he played that incredible innings, the half century. But Jonathan Fu, he's also played his part today. He's come out swinging. He's run well. He was lucky. He just got in with that almost run out, or that could have been a complete game changer. But now he has the chance to seize victory in the way Hayden Walsh couldn't quite in their game against the Afghans. And he faces up now. 2 deliveries to come. And he swings, and it's a dot ball. Well, well, well. He needs 4 off the final delivery. What a finish we have on our hands here. Jonathan Fu facing up. What an innings he's played. 19 from 11. Doesn't sound like that much, but in the context of this game, this has been absolutely vital to get the Windies back in the game and to this the final ball. 4 needed. Jonathan Fu facing up to Balpreet Singh. In he comes. And he swings, and he goes big, and Jonathan Fu makes contact. He wins the game with a massive 6. You cannot believe it. What a game we have seen. What a finish. What an innings from that man, Jonathan Fu, at the end there. He got them over the line. The Canadians are down on their haunches. They cannot believe it. They put 147 on the board in just 18 overs. They were in it. They so thought they were in it. Kevin Stout, he came out. He played an absolute blinder of an innings, and they cannot believe that they've not got over the line there, the Canadians. Absolute agony for them. And it's a win for the Windies, the defending champions. They know how to win, and they have shown us today, and they have done it in style off the final delivery. What a game we have had here. What a game.
What a game indeed. And the Canadians are absolutely devastated. A 5-wicket win here, but what a finish. I think this has got to trump that 1-run finish here that we saw against the Afghans. It definitely erases some of the sorrow from that for the Windies. A last ball finish for them, and a 6 to finish it off. This is the Jonathan Fu. This is the finisher. And he's finally come to the party here in the APL.
Well, they look absolutely devoed, those Canadians. They can't believe it. They were so far ahead, and we thought at one point, we were saying sort of 99% in their favour. It didn't look like the Windies were even in with a sniff, but wow, what a start that was for Kevin Stout at the top. 73 off just 48, and then a few quick wickets. They fell in the middle, and it looked like it was problem time, but Jonathan Fu, he came in, no worries that he's not really scored much so far in the tournament. 25 off 12 to see them over the line, finishing it with a monumental 6. Talk about finishing in style.
Finishing in style indeed. Have a look at that card. Kevin Stout at the top and then Jonathan Fu. Then moving into the bowlers. Rafi Hashmi not able to get wickets, a bit expensive as well. Ghazi 4 overs, none for 33. But it's those two bowlers there. Ritwik Behra, Balpreet Singh, 2 and 3 wickets apiece. And they were really the ones who did so well. Almost got the Canadians over the line with the ball in hand, but not to be for them in the end.
So the Windies winning it by 5 wickets in the end off the very last ball in the shortened 18-over-a-side game. Well, it might be shortened by overs, but it was not short of action and not short in excitement. This is what you see in the American Premier League. Wow, what an end we've had here. The Windies winning it by 5 wickets. I mean, shout out goes to Ritwik Behra with the bat for the Canadians, but it just didn't prove to be enough. And the Windies, they win it by 5 wickets, and I believe Roshni has the player of the match.
Welcome to the post-match presentation. It was the premium Canadians versus the premium Windies, and join with me at the man of the match, Kevin Stout, the man of the moment. The way you played that innings, I mean, first you took those 2 wickets and going out there, opening the innings and playing a beautiful innings of that, 78 off of just 45 balls, 5 sixes.
Yeah, I mean, it was a very good innings. Started